Hi there, so I thought I would just give you guys an update on how my last appointment went with my naturopath. That was on May 7th. I'm sorry I didn't update you guys on that sooner. This actually was the worst scan as far as the number of markers out of range, which is at 117. But we have to remember that I did just have the CT scan there in April, and that can definitely throw things off. So there are also a lot of good things though, a lot of major improvements on this scan. So I'm going to try to explain some of that to you. Okay, so this is just one of the pages that the scan will show you. There's like 21 pages of this scan, and then there's also underlying scans that she runs. This one here shows like the 4 main areas that we look at, and then these ones down here are also really important. This is the baseline right here. The 3.54 was my baseline for this Zytoscan, and this line here is where you want all of this color to be at. Like, you don't want it way out here, you want it to be here at this red line. You don't want it to be back here, you want it to be here at this line. If you can get everything to line up with this line, then you're doing really good. So I know we see some red here, but this is actually, I think, one of my best looking scans that I've seen this entire time. I know in the past I've had things show up as 0.0, which is, that was just not even registering. Things were so bad. The detox, that was one of the things that was at 0. My body was not able to detox, none whatsoever, when I first started seeing my naturopath. This is the closest that I've ever had the detox that I can remember. This is the closest I've ever seen it be to this line. So this, I mean, the gastrointestinal system, the hormones, I mean, yeah, they're struggling here on this, but we'll get that back. The immune system, I mean, at least these things aren't sitting at 0. And diet and nutrition, that was at 0. I wasn't able to even receive any nutrition, and this is the closest that I might have ever seen it be to the baseline. So this is progress. Like, this is really good. Hydration, I had, the week that I had this Zytoscan, I had 3 appointments that week, and when I leave my house, I don't really drink that much water, and so that's pretty much why I have such a, for the hydration. Inflammation, which CT scans can cause inflammation. Mental emotional stress, not too bad considering. Sleep, toxic stress, that's basically like what kind of toxic things are in your environment and things like that is causing stress to your body. Again, CT scan. So let me see. Okay, so CT scans, normally whenever you have those, heavy metals does show up. So we see heavy metals like really big here on the detox, chemicals, and then what things love to feed off of stuff like that? Parasites. Parasites love that kind of stuff, so they'll go and they'll take it and they'll hold on to it. And so we just really need to detox and get this stuff out of my system. The parasites, they had dropped off of my main scan for a while, and then they've just started popping back up here. There's just some of them that it's like they're just so stubborn and they just refuse to die and just leave. So we're working on that. The protocol that we have for this month is actually the most intense that I have ever done. And so we had to go through some, symptoms of detox and stuff. Parasites don't die without a fight. They release all sorts of nasty stuff into your system, and it's not a fun thing, but it's worth it, and it's short-lived compared to, the problems that they cause and everything. So, just ready to get her done and get rid of them and just get better. So parasites were definitely active. My hormones, and then there's the Lyme's was definitely flaring on the scan. It was flaring up pretty bad, which inflammation and different things like that can really cause that to flare. And the Lyme's is just causing like a lot of different problems for me, and we're even wondering if that's part of what is going on with the lymphatic system. It's definitely struggling here. And so hopefully all this stuff that we're doing and taking will, really help us to see a big difference, the next time I go in. And I just really want to be able to get myself fixed up and for my body to just heal and to just get rid of the stuff that's not supposed to be in there, parasites, cancer. I just want to be able to turn the page and keep going. This is just one of the emotions that it threw out there. There's like a whole list of emotions. Sadness is one. I might do a different post and try to explain like what the emotions can mean. Here are two other ones that I screenshot. It's really, really interesting, the information that you can learn from these. And then it kind of helps you to know what you need to work on for yourself. Because to be able to heal, you really have to work on, your relationship with God, and you need to work on your emotions, your mindset. You just don't want to have any kind of negativity or fears or, unforgiveness or anything like that. I'm just trying my best to work everything out and just give it to God and just move on from this. Hopefully that helped make some sense of things. I also had some blood work done, and as you can see here, the CEA level went up. This is one of the tumor markers that we look for. It is a very sensitive test. It's sensitive to different things. Stress can make it go up. If you have a cold, something viral, that can make it go up. CT scans, stuff like that, inflammation, that can make this go up. So this is the biggest jump. If you see here, okay, so my CT scan was on April 13th. On April 30th, you see I had blood work done, and then it jumped from 8.7 to 11.9. And then less than a month, it jumped to 15.2. So, but my appointment with my naturopath was on May 7th. And I had started, an intense protocol to help try to just rid myself of, parasites and Lymes and, just different things like that. If you've had a tick on you, you've likely have parasites, because they just have like parasites and bacteria and all sorts of nasty stuff that comes along with ticks. And I know they're really bad this year, and so we just really want to have strong immune systems to help prevent against, the problems that it can cause. And I hate ticks. But anyways, yeah, so whenever you have die-off from multiple different things that I've read, whether it's cancer die-off, whether it's parasites dying off, that can raise the CEA levels. And so hopefully this 15.2 just means that a whole lot of stuff was dying, and now we just have to move that on out of the body. This is another tumor marker that we were waiting for and looking at. It also went up. This was before I had started the new protocol, but it was, shortly after the CT scan. So hopefully that's all this was. It jumped from 29 to 33, which, I mean, the doctor would say that's not like a big, it's not a spike. It just wiggled a little bit, so it's not like anything to get worried over. It's just when you're looking at things like this, I was just hoping that you just want to see it go down. You don't want it to go up. You want it to go down. Again, it just all comes back to just trusting God and um, just giving it all to Him and just trusting Him with everything you have. And so that's that's pretty much where I'm at right now. And hopefully that answered some questions. Hopefully that helped to be able to understand some things. And hopefully you guys are all having a good day. And I'm going to let you go. And I hope you are having a good day.